Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Corona pendant with brass accent. This is the 136502. It is identical to the 136501. Only difference is going to be the brass accent. We'll get into that in just a little bit. So let's talk about the fixture body itself and the size of that. That's going to be the distance from the bottom of the fixture, which is going to be all those decorative pieces of metal that have been bent, kind of like petals we'll call them almost, to the top where those three rods come up, and there's a little piece about that big, and that is going to be the top of the fixture body itself, and that's coming in at 21 inches high. All that's independent of the single rod that goes up to the ceiling. Diameter 26.9, call it 27. This is ideal for a table that's 72 inches in diameter, or 72 inches long, sorry. 84 inches long. If you guys have a much longer table, like a 96 or 108 or something like that, and those do exist, we know, you're going to be looking most likely at our larger fixture. But this one is going to be great for most of you guys out there because most tables in America are 72 inches long. So, overall height. Now we're talking about the distance from the bottom of the fixture to the actual ceiling itself. And Hubbardton Forge has a range that you guys can use. And it's going to give you a range of 27.1 inches at its shortest, going all the way to 69.1 inches at its longest as standard product. And that means if you guys need this to be longer than 69 inches coming down, drop me a quick email. Tell me what you're looking for. If you're looking for 108 or 102 or 76 or whatever, you tell me what you're looking for. In that email, I'm going to take that email. It's going to go through Hubbardton Forge's customs department. It's going to come back, and they'll tell us what we can do. A little more time, a little more money, but we do customs every day. It's not a big deal at all. So how Hubbardton does this whole system, you're going to notice on the page for this on our website, there's a little chart, and that chart is going to show you which combinations of which rods you're going to use to get to the overall height that you guys are trying to attain. So you'll see that kind of down there on the page. It's also on the installations instructions, and how you look at that right now is to look over this way. Midway down you're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations instructions PDF. So open that up for me. It's going to show you a full parts list. It's going to show you how to put it together, but it's going to show you that chart again and which combinations that you can use. You're going to be getting 3 pieces of the 12, 1 piece of the 6, and 1 piece of the 3. They're threaded on the ends, okay? Little connectors that are threaded as well that put them together. When you do put them together, the fit is so tight, you barely even can tell that these are parts. So I'm only a foot away from this and I can barely see the lines. So when this is up, it looks basically like one solid rod. It's a really well done piece. And when you are putting this together, the one thing to think about is put down a fluffy towel on the table, like a 30-inch high table, put your fixture on it, and then you have your wires ready to go. You're going to be feeding those wires through the little parts one by one. So through a connector, through a pipe, through a connector, through a pipe, and kind of build your way up. And eventually you're going to be exiting what's at the top, and that's going to be a 5-inch round canopy. Okay, this guy right here. It's going to go over your standard 4-inch junction box. This is coming in at 26 pounds, so make sure that you tell your installer about the weight of it, just to be on the safe side. And it's slope ceiling adaptable already. You don't have to do any customization if you guys have a slope ceiling. There's a knuckle built right here at the top. Here's your slope, and you'll notice you can go from flat to 45 degrees with no problem at all. Okay, if you do need more pieces, we have kits, but don't forget you're only going to be getting 67 inches of wire. So chances are, if you want to go longer than the 69 inches overall height, you're going to have to do custom with custom wire. It's good. That's why we have you email us. Okay, so let's move on to a couple more things. Let's talk about that brass accent. See, very beautiful. It looks kind of like a really nice gold. It looks like our modern brass finish, basically. That's going to sit behind the glass like that. And it's not a dramatically thick piece of metal. It's supposed to be a nice, light, airy accent, and that's exactly what it is. It's very pretty. I think this kind of contrasts with the heaviness of the fixture, having this a nice, delicate piece. Okay, so, okay, now let's talk about what's going on inside of this, because that's something you guys really want to know. It's going to be using a G9 socket. G9 sockets, they use both halogen and LED bulbs. So if you're using halogens on this, they come frosted, they come clear, they have little wire loops at the bottom, they're easy to get. You're going to be using 6 of these, and you're limited to 40 watts for halogen in each of the sockets because of the heat generated by a halogen bulb, okay? Very important. If you guys want to do LEDs, there's no problem with that either. The nice thing about this glass is it's a beautiful made piece of glass. It has clear on the outside, and then it has a frosted diffuser on the inside with threading on the ends that go over the socket. So if you guys do decide to go with an LED bulb that's not aesthetically pleasing to look at, it's going to hide right inside, so you're not going to be able to see it. Okay, and when I do my LEDs, I get them from Amazon. It's just the easiest place to do it. I talk about it all the time on all these videos. We have these phosphorus ones that have long strips and sometimes fine lines of phosphorus. That's that orange inside. And this is called a cob LED, and the cob LEDs basically look like corn cobs. Sometimes they have a clear outer shell, sometimes they have a frosted one. This is a 60 watt equivalent, this is a 75 watt equivalent. And it's really up to you what you guys want to do with them. It's a dimmable fixture overall. If you're going to be using a dimmable LED, and make sure it says dimmable LED on that package or on the box or online, tell your installer what you're doing so they can get the correct switch for you to put on the wall. I talk about the color of light coming out of LEDs all the time. 2700 Kelvin is super yellow. That's like a setting sun. Way on the other side of that is called daylight. That's going to be that bluish white light you see on a kind of a overcast day. Not my favorite. What is my favorite is right in the middle of that, and that's going to be called warm white. And that's a very easy light to get from anybody out there. And it doesn't matter if it's a hardware store or if it's a online business that you're going to, like Amazon. So warm light's going to be 3000 Kelvin. It's going to say 3000 K, and that's the light that's coming down on me from these LEDs above. You can't even tell that this is incandescent. Everybody who walks in our showroom thinks that we're using incandescent bulbs, but we're not. We're using 3000 Kelvin LEDs. We have something like 100 solar panels on top of our building, so we tend to try to go LED as much as we can. And plus they're easy to use, and it keeps things cooler in the summertime, so we don't have to use as much air conditioning. So my thought on this would be to kind of go with maybe, how many do you get? You got 6 of these? You know, either 40 watt equivalent or 60 watt equivalent. You could go to 75 if you need to, but 3000 Kelvin dimmable LEDs and you should be fine to go. Let's get into finishes now. If you're on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over on this side of the screen. Midway down, you're going to see a tab. It's going to say Finishes Help Guide. Click on that for me. There's going to be a video on there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton forged finishes and how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be talking about a chart a little farther down on the page. You'll see it next to me here. It's going to kind of go over the differences between heavy forging and non-heavy forging, and it'll be talked about in that video. So it's really important that you kind of watch the video, use the chart. You can click on that chart on different things. So you can click on dark smoke and a big page will pop up and show you lots of different things in dark smoke. Click on burnished steel or natural iron, it'll do the same thing. But it's really important that you understand how Hubbardton Forge's finishes are kind of divided into translucent and opaque and how they can look on different fixtures. Our showroom in Vermont has we're up to 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures spread across 2 floors. We have a What's on Display page. It's way up there in those red tabs again, so click on that and you can see what we have to show you. That changes all the time because we're always adding things as they come out. Showroom's open every day except Sunday from 11 to 6. We have an amazing clearance center here too. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued things, and showroom samples. If you were coming to visit us, bring a good-sized vehicle, something like a big SUV or maybe a small truck or something like that, because you might find something in the clearance center that you want to take home, and it's a lot of fun to go through. 75% off MSRP is an amazing bargain, so you should really take advantage of it if you can. Like I said, we're open every day except Sunday from 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can call us at 802-446-2400 during business hours. You can email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the time. We love to answer emails. When you buy your Hubbardton Forge fixtures from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. There's no tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont, and we're the only dealer with 90-day returns and no restocking fees. No one else even comes close to that. Some larger items are non-returnable. We'll always tell you about that. It'll be in the description thing, that part of the description underneath on the very bottom. So keep an eye out for that. We also offer a rush program. Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to get product out. They don't stock anything. That's how you're going to get all your finishes, your adjustable ranges to play with, all those things. We can cut that time in half, and it's super inexpensive. If you want to know more, drop a quick email, and I can walk you through the whole thing, okay? So if you guys have any other questions, let me know. Love to see you in our showroom sometime, and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.